On Saturday, two teams proved they belonged in the championship game of the Great Lakes Invitation. The Terriers from Boston University skillfully handled Michigan State Spartans in round one. Meanwhile, the Michigan Wolverines punished the Huskies of Michigan Tech. Now it's time to crown a champion. The GLI Championship game is next on Fox Sports Net. As dusk descends upon downtown Detroit on this final Sunday of December, Joe Louis Arena hosts the final game of this Great Lakes Invitational Tournament. Tonight, with everything at stake, the GLI King will be crowned. It's either the 10th-ranked Wolverines or 13th-rated Terriers from Boston University. Either way, it's only here on Fox Sports Net. Hi again, everybody, alongside my partner, Fred Pletch. My name is Matt Shepard. This is it. The best holiday tournament in the nation is set to crown the best from this four-team field. And Boston University showed us just how good they could be yesterday, Fred, with its third line.
Keyed by a couple of juniors, and Kenny McGowan and Prentice Skladany. McGowan, New Jersey Devils draft pick, a +10 to lead all Terrier forwards. He's an up-and-down winger, had a career-high goal and 3 assists yesterday, and at 6'2", he has the size to be a physical force. Complimented by Skladany, the Slovakian, Coach Jack Parker calls him the most skilled forward on this Boston team, a real true goal scorer. And one thing that Jack Parker says, perhaps Skladany is guilty sometimes of hanging on to the puck a little bit too long, but not yesterday. Every time he had it on his stick, it seemed to get behind the Michigan State goal.
Yeah, he leads this team in shots on net as well, so he'll be heard from tonight, as will Michigan's top line. Maybe one of the best in the country, Fred.
Absolutely. Keyed by Jed Ortmeyer, and Red Berenson calls Ortmeyer the best captain he's ever had. He's a devastating body checker. Missed 7 games before Christmas with a knee injury, but he came back last night with a career best 2 goals and 2 assists. He loves to play at the Joe, and John Chania loves to set him up. Chania led this team in scoring last year with 10 goals and 50 points. He's also missed some time, 6 games early in the season with wrist problems. He had been held pointless in 3 straight games, but 3 helpers last night. And with Ortmeyer and Chania both healthy now and rested, they have the potential to do some major damage in the second half.
And Chania loves playing in this barn. In 18 career games, how about 19 career points? We love hearing from Shireen Saski. She now joins us. Shireen.
Thanks, Matt. And the Wolverines sure love playing at the Joe at the Great Lakes Invitational. They are seeking their 12th GLI title. That would be a record. Red Berenson 4-4 against Jack Parker, who also has a slew of tourney titles, 38 to be exact. That includes 2 national championships, 5 Hockey East tourneys, 16 Beanpot tourney titles, but no GLI titles. Looking for that first one tonight. Matt?
All right, Shireen, thanks. Just the 3rd ever meeting in the GLI between Michigan and Boston University, and as Shireen pointed out, the first ever for the crowd. We'll drop the puck when we come back to the Joe on Fox Sports Net right after this. Welcome back to Dan York, the PA announcer, to introduce the Michigan Pep Band for the national colors.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, would you remain standing? Gentlemen, please remove your caps. As the University of Michigan Alumni Pep Band honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
It is what we have waited for all weekend long. Yesterday, over 18,000 saw Michigan play Michigan Tech. I would venture to guess more than that in this one for the championship game. Sean Fields, 28 saves in the win over Michigan State in the 6-1 victory, has 9 in the left column to his credit with a good save percentage and a solid goals against. Al Montoya his counterpart at the other end of the rink. 19 saves, 3 goals allowed against Michigan Tech. 12 wins, all Michigan 12 wins this year.
Steve Piotrowski gets the call to wear the orange armbands. He's assisted by Kevin Langseth on your left and Bruce Vita Jr. on the right, assistant referees for this 38th annual GLI Championship game. Jack Parker, college hockey's top active winningest coach, 4th all-time in his 30th season, guiding the Terriers. And he'll match wits and lines with Red Berenson in his 19th season at the helm of the Michigan Wolverines. Like Jack Parker, Red Berenson has 2 national titles to his credit. And at one point, the Reds teams captured 9 consecutive Great Lakes Invitational crowns. But they're 0-3 are the Wolverines in the last 3 finals they've been in.
22nd time the University of Michigan will play in a title tilt game. In the Great Lakes Invitational, they are 11-10 all time. There are the top 4 active winningest coaches, with Parker number 1, Rick Comley, whose Spartans won the 3rd place game number 3, and Red Berenson, who's the youngster of the group, he says, at age 62. Ryan Collins and John Chania. And Michigan wins the draw. Chania won more than he lost yesterday. They'll dump it in. Fields will try and steady it. Jeff Tambellini quickly all over. Boston University will try and take the body, much like they did against the Spartans yesterday. Brady Meyer up the side.
Both teams took the body and were successful because of it, especially in the early going.
Jeff Tambellini, who has 3 goals in his last 5 games, left side. Mark Mink dumps it in.
Your way, Pie! Your way!
Brady Meyer. Ryan Collins up the left wing. Vandergulik, Dave Vandergulik throws the first shot on net, and Al Montoya with the save.
Well, the Terriers scored just 13 seconds into yesterday's contest against Michigan State, then also scored in the first minute of period number 2, and their coach, Jack Parker, says that goal in the first minute of period number 2 was the biggest goal of the game in his estimation.
So a good look at John Sable, the alternate captain for the Terriers, who had 2 assists and 2 shots in the win over Michigan State. Wolverines chip it out of harm's way. Scooped up by John Cronin, who had a great game. A goal and 3 points. He wears number 27 in red. A big collision. Jason Risner into the zone on the forehand with a shot that goes wide.
Easy, Nick, easy!
Justin Miser, number 21 in red, sends it along the end boards. Scooped up. Red ice, Jacob Red ice. Now Justin Miser up ahead. This is the new person in the lineup. John LaLiberty, number 5 in red, as it slides in on Montoya. LaLiberty was a scratch yesterday for the Terriers. Now he's in there instead of Dave Klima.
Well, František Skledany matched a career high. Had a goal and 3 assists in a game against Harvard last season, but 2 and 2 yesterday. And goal scorer's hands. Watch Skledany. Right upstairs, beats Matt Migliaccio. Then he picks up a big rebound. Good goal scorers go to the right spots in the ice to get big, juicy rebounds like that.
There's McGowan in the slot. Had it knocked away. Brandon Rogers, who had a goal yesterday, played it to Mink. Now Andrew Ebbett backhands it up into the Boston zone. Dan Spang sends it right back out to the neutral ice. Kenny McGowan brings it in. Risks a shot on a blocker save made by Montoya, and that caught some net.
Well, when you see this BU team, including Kenny McGowan, who had a goal and 3 assists for a career high. McGowan, 6 feet 2 inches tall, well over 200 pounds. And the Terriers not only have speed up front, they have some pretty good size, and I thought they outmuscled the Spartans, especially in the first period yesterday.
It taught Michigan State a little bit of a lesson that State implemented today against Michigan Tech in winning the 3rd place game. Nice move to get inside the BU zone. Lemensky dumped off the puck. Wisgowski dropped it back on the near side. In the corner, they're battling there. That's Charlie Henderson, the sophomore. Sent up the far side and clearing the zone there. Matt Radoslavich, who wears number 18 in red. Brian Miller comes back in his own zone. Pitchforks it up the far side. Dasher scooping it up there. Greg Johnson plays it out to center ice. Poked away at the blue line. Mike Lemensky wrists it up ahead. Just out of the reach of Dave Wisgowski. Freddie Meyer, steadiest defenseman Boston University had yesterday, and an offsides. Or icing, I should say, against the Terriers.
Yeah, Freddie Meyer, he's the heart and soul of this Terriers team. He is so strong, both upper body and lower body. He controls play in all three zones. And Freddie Meyer, you wouldn't tell it from the score sheet, didn't contribute offensively, but he set the pace from the blue line back, from the Terriers blue line back against Michigan State yesterday.
About 6 on the year. Quick shot off the draw. Ortmeyer was stoned by Fields. Ortmeyer with 4 goals in his last 2 games played here at the Joe. Now Martins from the point, and a save made by Fields.
And Jack Parker says, well, Sean Fields has been our MVP this season. No question about it. And he's well out, challenging down in the butterfly. And once again, confident. When the puck comes to him and there's no rebound escaping, you know that a goalie's on his game.
Michigan putting some pressure on in the Terrier zone. Now it's scooped up by John Sabo. Sabo up the wall and into the Michigan zone. Montoya comes out to hack it up the near wall. Sabo took a shot at it, but fanned on it. Here comes Tambellini up the left wing. The freshman, Jeff Tambellini, sends it through the crease. No one was there. Ortmeyer in the corner, digging away at it. Now Tambellini along the end boards. Ortmeyer giving chase. Now it's Chania. John Chania, 3 helpers last night. Tried to play it to the point. Ortmeyer tried to send it down low. It's picked off there by Jacobs Redleys up the far side. Vandergulen to Sabo, who taps it into the U of M zone. As the Terriers roll over a fresh 5. Nick Martins twisting it up ahead, intending for Tambellini, and that's icing against U of M.
Well, Red Berenson downplaying his team's victory over Michigan Tech last night when asked how would you grade the performance in the first game back from the holiday layoff. He said, oh, a C, not a B, maybe a C+.
Tough critic.
How does he grade the power play? Well, it certainly merited an A last night.
No question. Season best 4 power play goals. John LaLiberty couldn't catch up to that one. Elon Geisch sent it up ahead for David Moss, just out of his reach. A turnover in the neutral zone. Jason Risner walks in, now in the slot. Backhand try! Saved by Fields with a blocker. Good pressure by the Risner, Moss, and Geisch line. Risner pinned up by Dan Spang, who's, again, one of those solid defensemen that Jack Parker loves. He called number 4 Spang and number 28 Meyer his best D-men last night.
Spang, a great pro prospect.
Mink picked his pocket and then turned it over. Brad Zancanaro had an assist, the Trenton native, and an offsides call against the Terriers.
Toughest shot for a goalie to read is the backhand, and Jason Risner, coming off a shoulder problem, has played a little tentatively as Fields squares up to him and makes the save. If Risner can start using his imposing size, he's almost 6'5", to good effect. He can be a very physical and intimidating force for this Wolverine squad.
Had 3 shots last night in the win over Michigan Tech. Meyer stumbling a little bit. Michigan all kinds of forechecking prowess. Brian Miller battling Mark Mink up against the far side half board. Mink 4 points in his last 5 games. BU able to clear another icing call against the Terriers.
Well, BU was able to freewheel yesterday, especially in the early going when they got 4 goals. Jack Parker's team did in the first 15 minutes of the game, and there seemed to be all kinds of open ice for the forwards to go north-south. A lot of odd man rushes against the Spartans, and they capitalized. Wolverines have shut down those lanes on them through the first 5 minutes here.
Parker had a rather lengthy morning skate with his club.
A vigorous workout it was. Good 45 minutes or so. Shin pads and sweats. He says he likes to give his team a good skate, though, on the day of a game, even when they're playing late afternoon.
Ryan Cream, number 20 in red, another one of those guys he felt did a nice job taking the body, and he did that twice in a row on this shift. Cronin holds it in. Nope. Risks a shot. Oh, and that bobbled its way toward Montoya, who was knocked backwards into his cage, and the net comes off its moorings.
Well, Greg Johnson heading for the goal, and another thing that the Terriers did an excellent job of yesterday, getting traffic in front of the Michigan State goal, and Greg Johnson doing just that again. Radoslavich in the corner gets tied up, and as Johnson goes to the far corner, he'll transfer it to the point, and when it comes back around in front, he's going to the net, nose for the net, right on top of the blue paint, wound up knocking into Al Montoya, and the net was set back.
Ryan Collins booted out of the faceoff circle. Michigan won it away from John Sabo. Andy Richmond tried to play it back. It was picked off in the zone. Now Chania finds some pressure front with another shot, and that one is blocked in front. Good job by Ortmeyer, and it's cleared by Tambellini. Up the right wing, Ortmeyer tried to take a poke at it, and it's popped up into the bench. Running a photog for Eric. It splits the Michigan and BU bench. That photog should have a helmet on with the way things are flying up and down the ice between these two teams.
He signed the waiver, I'm sure.
Let's hope so. Good thing Michigan signed Jeff Tambellini, huh? He's a talent.
Tambellini on the left wing, and Vander Gulick for Boston University on the left wing for his team. They were line mates last season with the Vernon Vipers in the British Columbia Hockey League. Put up some astounding numbers together.
Yeah, both very successful. Rogers to Richmond. Out of his own zone. Plays it up ahead, along the right wing. Dropping it back. Tambellini with a wrist shot. Field saw it all the way. They jam away at it. It's loose in front, out of the circle. Richmond risks a shot. That's blocked in front. Now the Terriers. Vander Gulick up the left wing. Rogers knocked him off the puck. Bang, hit the side of the net. Then it slid along the near side wall. Good hard-hitting game. Busely got it down in the corner. Brian Collins trying to fight off a body check. Swept up the near wall, glove down, Busely to the high slot, Spang with a drive, and that was blocked in front. Now wristing a shot, and Montoya with a nice save off Justin Miser. Ortmeyer will clear out of desperation for the icing. 13-10 left to go in the opening period of the GLI Championship game. Very physical, very talented, but scoreless so far. Saturday night, January 18th, only on Fox. Off the draw. Ryan Miller with a shot that goes wide. Oh, he scored! Boy, he wristed it right by Montoya's right shoulder. I thought he missed the cage, but it hopped in and out so quickly. 1-0 Terriers.
Well, the Terriers have some supporters here. Al Montoya was screened out. Good face-off win. And Miller steps up. The winger can't get out to meet him. That kind of fluttered it. I'm not sure if it was deflected by the Michigan player dropping. Let's take a look from another angle. No, it looked like it was clear sailing over Jason Risner's right leg and in behind Al Montoya. And Brian Miller has got the first goal of this 38th Great Lakes Invitational Championship game.
Brian Miller's second goal this season. Both have been even strength tallies. 1-0 Terriers on top. Justin Miser down low. Played up the far side wall and out of the zone. Redleys will take hold of it. You know, Michigan is the team that has done a good job in the first period lately. They have a first period goal in 9 of their last 10 games. They had 1 last night against Michigan Tech, while BU scored 4 on MSU. Miller from Miser and Mark Mullen. Michigan dumps it in, courtesy of Andy Burns. Andrew Ebbett took a hit up the near side wall, played along the dasher. Clinching in there. Number 14 in white, Brandon Kalinicki. Now come the Terriers out of their own zone. John Cronin up ahead, a little far for Kenny McGowan. Kalinicki plays it up ahead. Here come the Wolverines, right side for Andrew Ebbett. The freshman catches up to it in the corner. Bumped off the puck by Redleys. Now Martins from the point, a shot. Fields with a save, rebound, score! Brandon Kalinicki, who had his 2-goal point streak snapped against Michigan Tech, scores his 7th of the year.
Well, they call him the Pit Bull. And as we all know, Pit Bulls are very determined individuals. And nothing could distract Kalanick from his task. Right on the top of the goal crease, a big rebound. He just has to shovel it in. He's got a bomb for a shot, but he only had to put that one in from about 5 feet away.
Fields will hold on. That's just the 2nd time that Brandon Kalanick has scored a goal this year, where his former high school teammate David Moss didn't assist on it.
Andrew Ebbett is right there, 3 white shirts buzzing around the cage. But it was definitely Brandon Kalanick, who scored 52 in junior hockey last season for the Cleveland Junior Barons, and he's putting up some pretty solid freshman numbers for the Wolverines.
So a minute 15 after the Terriers score, Michigan draws even. Vander Gulick dumps it into the Michigan corner. Danny Richmond gets up the near side wall and poked out of the zone by Charlie Henderson. Dan Spang will chase it down. Ryan Miller sends it all the way in on Montoya. Now Montoya steers it up the near side dasher for Charlie Henderson. Henderson wrists it up into the BU left corner. Sean Fields will steady it for Freddie Meyer, the captain of the Terriers, who come in 10-6-2, winners of 3 in a row and ranked 13th in the nation. Michigan 12-4-1. Brian Collins wrists a shot right into the belly of Al Montoya. Good end-to-end action.
A big gap allowed by Danny Richmond, and that allowed Collins to just keep progressing and eating up more ice and getting into a better scoring position.
Collins with a goal and a team high 5 shots at Michigan State last night. Burns to Ortmeyer. To center ice, and the Terriers control. Freddie Meyer back into the Michigan zone. Montoya with a backhand up the dasher. Ortmeyer to Shania. Center ice, Tambolini. Jeff Tambolini spins and backhands to Freddie Meyer in the BU zone. Ryan Miller, good stick work. Sent right back in by Mike Rumensky. Now Brian Miller, who has the BU goal for Freddie Meyer, his defensive partner. Turnover. Meyer dropped too by Ortmeyer. They slide it to the side of the net, steered back by Fields. Here comes BU. Collins will gently tap it into the Michigan corner. New line out there for Boston University includes John Cronin at defense. To Redley. And chipped up into the crowd. 9:47 left to go in the first. BU drew first blood, and then a $1:15 later, Brandon Kalanick tied it up at 1. Don't forget, individual tickets are on sale now for all CCHA games this season at the Joe. See Michigan against Lake State on January 25th. MSU and U of M on March 1st, and the Super 6 March 20th through the 22nd. Get tickets to the Joe Louis Arena box office, Ticketmaster outlets, or log on to college hockey at thejoe.com. Terriers dump it in and chase. Montoya comes out to play it with a backhand up the far side dasher over Geish's stick. Redley's from the point, just wide. Wolverines trying to generate some offense through the neutral zone. Stood up the blue line. Justin Meiser couldn't hold on to that. Has 1 assist so far. Delivers a body blow. Nick Martins couldn't play it. David Moss is waiting for it. Took a hit from behind. Now Risner. Risner bodied up along the glass. Oh, they're hitting down there, Fred, in this one. Both teams trying to take the body. That'll wear on you as the game goes on, no question. Aaron Pass is an icing against U of M.
But they've also done it without taking any penalties. Well, Paul Thomas, the excellent sports information director, hockey SID for Michigan, has nicknamed Al Montoya the Conquistador, which is Spanish, I think, for I stop all pucks.
I think so. Is it Conquistador or Conquistador?
Conquistador. And Al Montoya, he didn't play the puck much last night, much more active tonight, and I think he just has to get familiar with the boards and the various angles here at Joe Louis Arena.
One thing he did do last night was take his first career collegiate penalty, too. Vasali couldn't clear the zone. Michigan pinching in at the far side hash. Kalanicky delivered a body blow. Forced the turnover. Evatt to Kalanicky, who shot it wide. Sledany up the far side wall. McGowan trying to play it up ahead. Now Spang in his own zone. Dan Spang wrists it off the glass and into the Michigan area. Icing.
Danny Richmond, both of his parents attended the University of Michigan. His mother was a swimmer. His father played hockey. Still holds the all-time record for points by a defenseman. Steve went to play in the National Hockey League with 3 or 4 teams. Now a scout with Chicago, but coached Danny Richmond last season with the Chicago Steel of the United States Hockey League, where Danny Richmond was the best rookie in the league.
And Steve played for the Rangers, Red Wings, Devils, and Kings. 8:05 to go in the first. And they'll have to drop the puck again. Charlie Henderson will take the draw for Michigan. Matt Radoslavich for Boston University. Now they kick out Henderson and welcome in J.J. Swistek. There's a wrist shot from the high slot that never got through. Ryan Miller at center ice. Pitchforked it into the Michigan zone. Here comes Mike Romensky. Played it with a backhand along the right wing. Wristed in just to the left of Fields. Michigan on the forecheck. Here's Henderson. Turning and firing. Fields had the paddle flush on the ice to knock it away. Greg Johnson to Ryan Preem. Preem sends it in on Montoya. He'll scoop it up like a shortstop and hold on. A little extracurricular. Rominski and Preem. A couple of physical players there. Preem, not a whole lot of points. Matter of fact, none. He has just 2 shots on the year, but he plays with a physical presence. That's what they love about him.
And ditto for Mike Romensky. Senior defenseman now. Ryan Preem, great up and down banger. 6'1", 200 pounds, and he was very effective in yesterday's 6-1 victory.
Yeah, Jack Parker told us that this morning. He said, I really like the way Ryan Preem played. Because you know this, Fred. I mean, coaches look for things other than just scoring and assisting, of course.
Especially a guy who's been in and out of the lineup. The senior wants to play, wants to contribute, and he did.
Now Collins, who contributed a goal yesterday, has it in the corner, left it there. Eric Warner couldn't swing it along the end boards. Collins came in. He's battling Shania. Now Ortmeyer swings it up ahead. Here comes Redlees. Now they backhanded into the Michigan zone. Eric Warner sends it right back where it came from.
Red Berenson gets last change. He's content to play his top line against Jack Parker's top line here.
Cronin dumped it in. There's a shoulder-to-shoulder collision that Warner got the better of Dave Vandergulik. Now Martens up ahead. Shania gains the center ice line and dumps it into the right of Sean Fields, who will paddle it up the far side corner. Pinching in Brandon Rogers, and it slides to Fields, and he'll hold on. Ortmeyer and Redlees exchanging pleasantries.
Well, Jed Ortmeyer with a career high 4 points in last night's victory over the Michigan Tech Huskies. In the breakaway department, roofing one. Got another goal on a rebound off the backboards, and dump it in off the Michigan Tech goalie. Also added 2 assists, and Ortmeyer loves to play at the Joe. Last time he was here, the CCHA Championship game, had a pair of goals in the Wolverines' 3-2 victory over Michigan State.
Yeah, has 6 goals and 14 points in 13 games here at Joe Louis Arena. 2 goals and 3 shots for the Michigan captain last night. David Moss gently taps it to the left wing. Brandon Rogers, who had a goal, sent it into the BU zone. Dan Spang up ahead, up the left side. Too long, they'll wave off the icing. Montoya glances over his shoulder and leaves it for Danny Richmond. Sweeps it up the near wall for Risner. He couldn't clear it. David Moss, he'll tap it into the BU zone as Michigan goes for a line change. Brian Miller up the right side. Too far for the forward, comes back into the BU zone. Andrew Ebbett for the man, sliding toward the front of the net, and it's just a little long. That was Kalanicky. He'll regroup, take care of it in the corner. Trying to get away from Brian Miller. All on the end boards, Andrew Ebbett. Brian Miller picks up the loose puck.
Let's go!
Looks up ahead, plays it to center ice. Hopped over the stick of Andy Burns. He got tied up by Brad Zancanero. Now McGowan to Zancanero, couldn't tuck it in the near side. Montoya hugging the post. It's a 3-on-2 for Michigan now. Kalanicky, the pass behind him, bounced right onto the stick of Ebbett. Now Kalanicky winds and fires a dart, and that one popped up in the air. They don't know where it is. Ebbett tried to jam it home, and Fields covers up. End-to-end action continues at the Joe. 4:53 left to go in the first. It's physical, but it's a good hockey game. 1-1, BU and U of M. Solid game so far. 4:53 left to go in the first. BU and U of M deadlocked at 1 apiece. Terriers drew first blood. 18 hits in this contest so far, Fred Pletch. No penalties.
Well, a sign of what's at stake when the discipline and composure is what it is.
Michigan trying to gain possession. There's this in front. Oh, what a sliding save by Fields. And here comes our first penalty of the game. It'll go against BU. A wrist shot. And that one fought off by Fields.
It qualifies as a good penalty, though.
And we got more. Oh, we got some swinging going down there in the corner. This is the first time that these kids in these programs have played against one another. Now, of course, they know one another through their years in the elite programs throughout the nation, but for the first time that they have donned their respective school sweaters, this is the first time they're playing one another like that.
Initial penalty going against Matt Radoslavich. Right out in front as he drags down, who was that, Eric Werner? Jumping in from the point, going after a big rebound. So Radoslavich with the first minor, that's the one that will create the power play, and then matching minors to Ryan Preem and
Eric Werner. Jack Parker, a former captain on the BU team in '67 and '68. Has 51 players in the pros. He's coached 19 Olympians. 4 of them played on that Miracle on Ice 1980 team.
One of those Olympians is now his son-in-law, Scott LaChance of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Red Berenson has coached his fair share of NHL players as well, hasn't he?
Indeed.
Danny Richmond, Michigan's power play, so effective last night against Michigan Tech. 4 for 7, a season best 4 for 7. Fred, they went from 18% prior to the game against Michigan Tech on the year to 21% now. They have a power play goal in 8 of their last 9 games, while BU's penalty kill has allowed at least 1 power play goal in 2 straight games.
Yeah, the Terriers' PK numbers were not very good. They surrendered a goal to David Booth of Michigan State in the very first power play the Spartans had yesterday, but locked it down after that. But this will be a good test now for the Terriers' penalty killers against a Michigan Wolverines power play that can really throw the puck around. They'll key it off John Chania, Tambellini with the great speed, and the defensemen, Rogers and Richmond, they won't hesitate to jump in from the point either.
Rogers to Richmond. Yeah, Rogers' goal yesterday was a power play tally. Richmond drives it in hard. Busely in the corner. Ortmeyer bodied up by Dan Spang. Spang and Busely out there on defense for BU. Tambellini plays with a backhand to the near point, just out of the reach of Danny Richmond. Brad Zancanero from Trenton, Michigan is out there trying to bother the puck. He wears number 12, and Kenny McGowan, 15 in red for BU. Tambellini into the corner for Michigan with Ortmeyer, Rogers, Richmond, and John Chania. Zancanero sweeps it aside. That'll allow BU to peel off a fresh 4. Richmond cross ice. Gets it right back. Trouble handling it. Looking for Andy Burns, an alternate captain, and his defensive partner at the tail end of this power play shift. Brandon Kalanicky. Richmond is off. And Nick Martens, the other defenseman now for U of M. Andrew Ebbett tried to dump it in.
Let's go!
Now it's center ice. 18 seconds left in the Michigan power play. Brandon Kalanick plays with a backhand. Mark Mink. Mink holding to the point from Martens. In front. Popped up. Oh, and a near baseball swat by Andrew Ebbett. Burns with a shot. Oh, it was a pass to Mink, who couldn't finish it off. 5-on-5. Richmond's shot is blocked. Still in the BU zone. McGowan pawed it out of there. We got Ebbett and McGowan going at it right in front of Sean Fields. And we will have another penalty. And it's Sabo wrestling with another U of M player. Boy, you talk about getting chippy.
Well, it was just too physical not to get emotional as well, I think. As tempers flare, Andrew Ebbett, he was getting an initial minor just as Cream and Warner get out of the box. After some great chances by the Wolverines at the tail end of their power play, here's Ebbett right here, mixing it up with the defenseman. And then on the other side, it's John Sabo and Nick Martens. Sabo comes in, a little headlock, and Nick Martens replies in kind. Vandergulik and Ebbett. And Ebbett with the extra shot. I think they're both getting minors. And Vandergulik will be saying, I was flat on my back.
So it's Martens and Ebbett in the Michigan penalty box. Vandergulik and Sabo for Jack Parker's club. They finally had to tap Dave Vandergulik on the shoulder and say, by the way, you're supposed to be on the other side of the ice. Jack Parker still wants an explanation.
Well, Steve Piotrowski's already been over a couple of times in the game, and at some point the referee will say cease and desist. We're just going to keep playing here.
Still 5-on-5 hockey. Offsides call against U of M.
16-11. The shots favor Michigan. And Steve Piotrowski has decided.
Actually, it's another penalty.
He's got to take control here.
Wow.
Brian Miller is going to the box along with Jason Risner, it looks like.
Wow, you're going to need a reservation there pretty soon. No doubt roughing the call here on Brian Miller, the goal scorer for Boston University, and Jason Risner.
Former teammates in Ann Arbor, Risner and Miller with the National Team Development Program. And there are 10 former NTDP players in this contest.
5-on-5 still. Under 2 minutes to go in this first period. Boy, it's been a good one, too. Kenny McGowan. Jacobs Redleys tried to play it back. John Cronin. Brad Zancanero had an assist last night to Redleys. He will leave it there. Now Skladany with speed into the Michigan zone. Knocked away. Here's Milan Gaish. Gaish into the BU zone. Had it poked away by Zancanero. These teams possess a lot of speed, a lot of skill. They can get physical too. They slide it in front. Gaish couldn't get his stick down on the ice.
Good defensive work by John Cronin in front. If Gaish gets his stick down, it's 2-1.
Kenny McGowan gets Jace Ramensky, poked it away from him. Out to the neutral zone. This is Dan Spang. Spang, a freshman, playing in his 14th game. To Brian Collins. Collins puts on the brakes and gets a shot away. Saved by Montoya. Rebound. Oh, here's Spang wide in front. Another rebound in front. Spang has it again. A backhand try. And finally Montoya holds on for dear life. All kinds of pressure from the Terriers.
Keyed by Dan Spang. Second-round draft pick of the San Jose Sharks. He's trying to find a handle on the rebound. He gets it. And a second rebound from the angle. All he can muster is a backhand. And now Montoya has got a Terrier in his face.
Dan Spang, voted the best pro prospect in Boston a year ago. And another penalty coming.
Yeah, they have a summer hockey festival called Hockey Night in Boston that brings together all the best prep school area players from Massachusetts, and it's well attended by NHL and college scouts, and Dan Spang recognized there. Cross check is the call. Miser comes in trying to buy his forward some time, and Justin Miser will get the call. Not playing the puck, getting the stick up, and that's what referee Piotrowski called.
Fred, 20 minutes of penalties in this first period. Just the second power play. Zancanero on a shorthanded try, has Spang coming, gets the shot away, blocker save. Michigan has allowed 3 shorthanded goals this year. Boston University has scored 4. They will bring the face-off outside the BU zone. Brad Zancanero from Trenton, Michigan, as we've mentioned, playing in his 19th game, had the assist last night, and will join our own Shireen Saski in the first period intermission.
He's got a twin brother, Tony Zancanero, who plays for the Springfield, Missouri Spirit of the North American Hockey League.
Jeff Tambellini slides it to Jed Ortmeyer. Ortmeyer brings it away from the wall to Chania. Now Richmond risks a shot from the blue line, and Field saw it all the way. 4 seconds left to go in the period. Actually, Brandon Kalanicky will join Shireen Saski in the first period. Kalanicky, a goal scorer in the first for U of M.
Hit Bull playing the Terriers.
I think Brad Zancanero just wanted to join Shireen in the first period. That's instead, Shireen says, you know what, how about we make it the second intermission? And he was satisfied with that. Off the draw, Tambellini with a quick shot, and Fields had to be on his toes for that one, and more pushing and shoving going on. That makes for an entertaining 40 minutes from here on out. The first 20 minutes has been dynamite.
Great chance right off the draw. Tambellini this time will just try and push it to the net. And did a good job of it,
sure
too.
Did. But Fields was waiting for it. A goal aside. And Danny Richmond and U of M will have a power play against Sean Fields. And the Terriers to start the second period. Michigan outshoots Boston University 19-14 in the first, but each club draws blood just once. So 20 minutes of the Great Lakes Invitational Championship tilt is in the books. Justin Miser and BU celebrated an early 1-0 lead before U of M got the equalizer. The first intermission rolls on from the Joe on Fox Sports Net after this.
For 38 years now, the Great Lakes Invitational has become an annual tradition here in Detroit as we get ready for the second half of the hockey season, and the Michigan Wolverines have been more victorious than any other team when it comes to this tournament. Brandon Kalanicky knows that as well as anyone. You grew up in Livonia. You saw the GLI as a fan. Now you score a goal in a GLI game.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. You know, I come here growing up and came to a couple games. I went to one last year, actually, versus Michigan Tech, and it's pretty nice to be able to score in one of these.
Take us through your goal.
I don't know. I just went in the corner there, and I popped out in front, and the puck, our defenseman just shot it, and I don't know. Just see, I just barely got to it, and I guess that says about enough.
Largest crowd you've played in front of?
Yeah, definitely.
And that includes the 15 family members you had in the stands yesterday. How many today?
I don't know about today. I know yesterday it was about 15, 20. Today, I don't know, I guess we'll have to see after the game. So.
Is playing for Red Berenson everything that you thought it would be in your career?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at first it was a little intimidating. You know, he's kind of a hard guy to, talk to or anything like that, but he's been great, and he's really helped me out the first half of the year.
But you're the pit bull. Couldn't you handle anything?
I don't know. I just try and play hard. That's why I got the nickname, so that's about it.
That's how it all came about? Who gave it to you?
Johnny Shania gave it to me. He was actually the first one to start it, and then it just kind of caught on with everybody else on the team. Just because the way I go to the net, that's what he says. So.
Well, when you go to the net, you usually score. Brandon Kalanicky with 7 goals on the year, including one tonight in the Great Lakes Invitational Championship, as they are all tied up with Boston U. Thanks so much, Brandon, for joining us.
Thank you.
The last 3 straight games as they hop onto the Joe Louis ice surface. Wolverines, first time in the championship game since 1999. Well, they haven't won one, Fred Pletch, since 1996, and that was at the end of a nice run, huh?
Yeah, they beat Michigan Tech 6-1 and came back and played Lake Superior State in the championship game, getting a last-minute goal for a 5-4 victory over the Lakers, and that completed a run of 9 straight GLI titles that Red Berenson squad won from 1988 all the way through 1996. Almost invincible.
They own the most Great Lakes Invitational tournament titles with 11. And now they're set to start the second period on a power play. Deadlocked at 1 with the Terriers from Boston University. Brandon Rogers slides it to Danny Richmond. On the power play, Rogers up the wing. Ortmeyer at the point, tries to slam it down low. He and Sabo exchange shoves, and we got a hand pass. They have added an assist to Mark Mink. That means Mark Mink gets his 8th assist of the season and his 5th point of the last 6 games. John Sabo, alternate captain for BU. And on the right wing, John Chania takes the draw for Michigan, loses it, and it's swept back into the Michigan zone by Dan Spang. Montoya hands to Brandon Rogers. Off the left wing, Danny Richmond played it off the dasher. Punched it up ahead, it's knocked back. Now Chania to Ortmeyer. Jed Ortmeyer peels back at the far side hash. Tried to get it to the point. Guys are tying each other up, and a nice poke-free Mark Mullen move to send it into the Michigan zone. Rogers flings it back into the right of Sean Fields. Dan Spang the first one to it, guides it up the near side wall. Rogers trying to hold it there. Knocked out of there by Brad Zancanero. 15 seconds left in the Michigan power play. Rogers up ahead. Tambellini with a shot, and a nice save by Fields.
Well, absolutely nothing going for the Wolverines on their power play until the speedster Jeff Tambellini crosses the blue line and tests Sean Fields. Tambellini, the freshman, playing with the 2 seniors, Chania and Ortmeyer, and he can go east to west as good as he can north-south. He's got great speed. He's got great lateral mobility as well. And Tambellini, a very exciting player. His speed opens up a lot of room for his line mates. Ortmeyer on the left, Chania on the right.
Averaging a goal every other game. BU at full strength. Martens with a shot from the point, and a save by Fields, then guided wide. Brian Collins punched it along the end boards. Michigan holding it in. Kaminsky plays it back for Andrew Ebbett. Ebbett battling Brian Miller. Down along the end boards. Now Mark Mink slides it in front. Ebbett with a shot, and a left pad save made by Sean Fields. Miller again, lost it at center ice. Here comes Ebbett charging, peeling back, waiting, looking, sending it in front. Now Mink drops it for Warner. Along the end boards, Kalinecki had his stick held for a moment. Now here come the Terriers. Freddie Meyer dumps it in. New troops for the Terriers. Martens fanned on the pass. Here's Skladany with a shot. Montoya, great save and hold.
Well, the last guy you want to turn the puck over to is Prentice Skladany, the Latvian player. Nick Martens with the miscue after he picks it up from Montoya. He's got his head up, the puck flipped up on him. Skladany takes it from right to left, and he buries one into the big M on Al Montoya's jersey.
Skladany able to hold it in for a moment, then Rominski paddles it out. Zancanero backhands it in to the right of Montoya. McGowan slashed his stick down, forced the turnover. Zancanero tried to wrist it in front. Now Skladany in the corner. Has those patented white gloves. All on the end boards. Rominski and McGowan battling. Skladany trying to dig it out of there. Moss is in there for U of M. Andy Burns swings it along the end boards. And Milan Geisch will clear. Sent right back in. That's offsides. Here comes Michigan. Romensky. Left side. Turned it over at center ice. Skledany to Jacobs Redleys, the defenseman. Wrists it into the Michigan zone. Good body check there by Andy Burns on Radoslavich. BU will track it down in their own zone. Just out of the reach of Johnson. Radoslavich tipped it into the corner. Rominski slings it along the end boards. Ryan Preem battling for it. He tugs down a player. No call. Now Charlie Henderson pokes at it. Just crawls over the blue line. Busali into the Michigan zone. Radoslavich at the half board. Lost it. Ryan Preem couldn't get a stick on it. Here's Charlie Henderson for U of M. Scoreless second so far. Greg Johnson forced the turnover. Radoslavich and a hand pass. Greg Johnson, the junior from Windsor, Connecticut. Ottawa's 8th round pick a year ago.
He's unusual on this Terriers team, and then he played 3 years of junior hockey for the Springfield Coyotes in the Eastern Junior Hockey League. Here's his totals for the season, but a lot of these BU players have gone right from prep school into the Terriers lineup.
Turnover at center ice. 2-on-1 for BU. Wrist shot by Brian Miller and a save by Montoya. Miller's already beaten him once. Then he sends it through the goal crease. At the point, the shot was blocked. Shania pitchforks it. Couldn't get it out of the zone. And another hand pass. Third one of the period.
Bruce Vita Jr. all over that. Brian Collins, he's the Iron Man on this BU Terriers team. He's a senior. He has not missed a single game. Now this is his 136th game and counting. And you can plug him into the lineup every night and know what you're getting. Jack Parker wants a little more production from him in terms of goals. Scored 13 as a freshman, 14 as a sophomore, 12 as a junior, and just got his second of the season to open the scoring 13 seconds into the game yesterday against Michigan State.
Yeah, had 8 last year. Was this team's top scoring freshman in '99. Thus the 3rd round draft pick of the New York Islanders. Nick Martin's in his own zone. The Liberty bumped him off the puck. Trying to force the turnover. Mark Mullen couldn't hold on to it. Eric Warner trying to pick it free. Now David Moss scoops it up ahead, turned it over. The wrist shot went wide. Or high above the cage anyway. The Liberty stick handles now in the slot. Wrist shot never got through. Got a penalty coming. It'll go against the University of Michigan.
David Moss for interference. Right now we're getting an example of why Red Berenson only gave his team a C+ rating last night. A lot of turnovers inside their own blue line, and when you can't get the puck out, that leads to penalty issues. And Red Berenson will have to send out his penalty killers. And even though the penalty killing has been excellent for the Wolverines all season long, you do not want to go to the well too often. This happens right in front of the net after the turnover, as there you see Moss dragging down Miser. Coming in from here. Moss gets positioning, but according to referee Petrosky, illegally bringing down the BU Terrier.
Moss a plus or even in every game this year, but he's in the bench or in the penalty box for 2 minutes because of the interference call at the 4:44 mark. BU on the power play. Shot toward the net. Montoya with a save. We talked about it yesterday in our coverage in the semifinal game of Michigan and Michigan Tech. The Wolverines ranked #1 in the country on the penalty kill. They kill off 93%. They've allowed just 7 power play goals on the season. They've killed off 90 of 97.
Not only that, they're not afraid to go on offense when they're penalty killing, surrendering 7 but scoring 6 shorthanded goals as well.
That also leads the nation, tied with North Dakota. Boston University hasn't given up a shorthanded goal all year long, by the way. Jacob Redleys into the corner, gets it back of the blue line, slides it. John Cronin, now Redleys try to go into the corner, knocked away by Rogers and cleared.
Last night we heard Mike Sertich, the Michigan Tech coach, talking about a forward on his power play taking away the goalie's eye.
There's a turnover. Shania thought about shooting it for a moment, tried to bring it back, and then had it poked free.
And the Terriers do exactly that, planting a forward net front in front of Al Montoya.
J.J. Swistak cleared the zone that time. Michigan with a short shift. Eric Warner's out there with Swistak and Rogers. Now Sabo with a shot. Tried the short side. Mark Mink also out there covering the point. They tap it down low. Brian Collins hit from behind. Now from the blue line, Freddie Meyer. Touch pass. Miller one times it. Shot it wide. Vandergulik to the blue line. Meyer to Vandergulik. Miller one timing that one. Again, short side. Brian Collins. Now they scooped it up. Get it to Miller at the point. Freddie Meyer lays it back to the half board. Vandergulik helps it down low for Collins. Vandergulik again. 8 seconds to go on the power play. Freddie Meyer one-handed it. Michigan trying to clear. The Wolverines are at full strength. Here's a bomb and a save made by Montoya. Moss gloves it down. Plays it in front. Meek! Oh, and a backhander went wide. John Sabo at the tail end of his shift. Boy, he's got to be gassed. Brian Miller, Freddie Meyer, and another penalty coming, this time to Boston University. Interference against, I believe, the captain of BU, Freddie Meyer, heads to the penalty box. His 16th penalty of the season. Michigan and BU tied at 1, but the Wolverines get the extra attacker when we return. 1-1, BU and the University of Michigan with 12:53 left to go in the second in the championship game.
Well,
Michigan
the key to Michigan's penalty killing is how they pressure the puck. Nothing passive about the box that Michigan plays. Attack the puck carrier, pressure him into mistakes. And that's one of the reasons the Wolverines have been so successful all season long. Don't wait, go right at the person who has the puck.
U of M 0 for 2 with 4 shots on the power play so far in this game. Andrew Ebbett lays it into the corner. Hits it right back along the inboards. Bangs it up the back of the net. Now a backhand try. Loose in front. And they score. Steve Piotrowski waving it off. A cross check.
And it's going against the Terriers.
Mike Busely.
And presents a 2-man advantage for a full minute and 44 seconds. Watch Busely. Knocks Geisch almost head first into the boards.
That's
then
dangerous.
on the centering pass, it went off the post. The backhander went off the post, and by the time Kalinecki put it in, the whistle had sounded. No, didn't go off the post. Went off Brandon Kalinecki and came right back into the blue paint, and he scooped it in from there.
The Michigan partisan crowd doesn't like it.
Well, they'll like the fact that their team has a 2-man advantage now for a minute 44. And last night against Michigan Tech in a similar situation, Andrew Ebbett sniped the Wolverines' final goal.
Richmond, Rogers at the points for Michigan. Richmond back to Rogers. And now Tambellini along with Ortmeyer and Shania. Tambellini in front. Ortmeyer hit the post. Ortmeyer right there in the slot, positioned well. Rogers at the near point. Walks in a little bit. Down low. Tambellini one times it across the crease. Now Richmond. 1:15 to go in the 2-man advantage. Rogers slides it down low. Tambellini cross ice. And a shot by Shania and a save by Fields. Boy, they're moving the puck well, aren't they?
Good puck movement, but the last pass just a little bit slow developing, getting across, and that allowed Fields time to go from left post to right post from his vantage point. Here's Ortmeyer in the slot. Bang! Right off the right post in behind Sean Fields.
Dan Spang, Brian Miller, and Mark Mullen out there as the penalty killers for BU.
Freddie Meyer's in the box. He would be out there. So would Busely. 2 veterans.
There's Ortmeyer to Shania. Shania looking for the late man. It's Richmond. His shot was blocked up into the netting.
You would think that under normal circumstances, with the Terriers defending a 5-on-3, they would have their captain Freddie Meyer for sure, and perhaps their other senior member on the back end, Mike Busoli out there, but they're the two players in the box, so Jack Parker has to count on other players right now.
They do get John Sabo out there, though. Richmond slides it to Rogers. Rogers to Tambellini in the corner. Into the circle with a backhand saucer toss to Rogers. Now Shania. Ortmeyer trading places. Shania walks in right in front. Shot! Oh, and that might have hit the post. Rogers was in prime position. Tambellini backhands to Shania. Surveying, holding. Wristing a shot off the blocker, rebound. It dribbles close to going in and then swept aside. Richmond to Rogers in the high slot. Ortmeyer to Shania. Tambellini's right in front. Now Shania brings it out to the high slot. Now in front, redirected off the right toe of Fields, and it's cleared. A gallant effort by the BU penalty kill. Now Shania's onside, sends a bomb, and that pops up into the net. Al Montoya started it, finding the alternate captain over the center ice line for the chance.
Well, Dan Spang is net front. As they work it, the Brandon Rogers in from the point, and it just goes off Dan Spang out the other way.
Well, I knew it hit something. Boy, the chances of that happening. 8 seconds left to go now in the Michigan power play. And boy, what a confident booster this might be for BU to kill off not only a power play, but a 5-on-3 for a minute and change.
Well, good teams, and there are two of them on the ice right now, take the attitude that if they've got a 5-on-3 for that long, they must score. And they'll be very disappointed. You're right, it can be a huge momentum changer in a contest right at the midway point now, 25 seconds away. And Red Berenson, the type of player that any coach would like to have out in the ice in a 5-on-3 power play. He was a pure goal scorer. Jack Parker, he has to be fired up after the job his three defenders did.
Body check in the corner by Kalanicky. As BU tries to get some puck possession in the Michigan zone. It's been down in the Terrier portion of the ice for the majority of the last 5 minutes or so. John Cronin chased it down at the half board. Tapped it down low. Greg Johnson took a hit from behind. Kalanicky. Get it out of there. On his toes, Mark Mink, another chance. Oh, and Cronin with a nice play to sweep it away. Mink goes barreling into the BU net. And a stoppage in play. 9:47 to go in the second, and a good one at the GLI Championship game. On Fox Sports Net. 5-on-5. And after BU with a big-time penalty kill, they dump it into the Michigan zone. Skledany put in on the brakes. David Moss trying to control it. Skledany pinching in at the half wall. Splits free to Mike Romensky. Romensky up the left side. Now Geis on the right side, trying to get around Freddie Meyer, and Meyer took the body to him. That allowed Fields to steer it up the near side wall. Shot by Burns got through. Fields with a save. Now Kenny McGowan. Big night last night for Kenny McGowan. Up ahead, Skledany trying to make a nifty move, and a good play there by Mike Romensky. Now at the circle, in front, Skledany, backhand try, it's right there behind Montoya. And a great play by the Michigan defender to pick it up with a backhand and shove it into the back of Montoya and kill it there.
Well,
that was Mike Romensky.
Excellent play all the way around. Zancanero sacrifices the body. Skledany brings it out front. Montoya gets just enough of it. And Mike Romensky, the senior defenseman, will tuck it back underneath Al Montoya. Montoya gets it with the arm. It just squeezed between his left arm, the trapper arm, and the pad. And then Romensky will shovel it to safety and out of harm's way.
That is a great play by Mike Romensky. Heads up by the senior. 28 shots, make it 29 shots, by the way, for the University of Michigan so far. They had 28 last night in the win over Tech. Nice move. Tambellini with a shot. Left toe save made by Fields. Now Shania, he couldn't hold on to it. Spang clears it up the near side. Yeah, that got just over that blue line before Brandon Rogers could take a knee and keep it alive.
Well, Jeff Tambellini, with that speed he possesses, and he's going right to the net. That was a feed intended for Shania, who was gangbusters for the goal. Save made, and then Shania at the rebound, hop right past his stick.
And that Richmond shot hopped off field stick and hit some more netting.
Well, this is what they play for. The Great Lakes Invitational banner. The school colors hang from that banner for the next 364 days. And Red Berenson says it's important to get your colors up there, especially in the ongoing recruiting battles in this great state of Michigan for hockey players and hockey talent.
Only 6 times has the invited team won it. Last year it was North Dakota.
It was green, but Michigan State thought it was the wrong color of green.
That's right. It was Fighting Sioux green, and we have a penalty coming to Michigan. Brandon Rogers will hit the penalty box. He visited that penalty box 3 times last night. And an interference call on Brandon Rogers.
Neutral zone penalty. He had not touched the puck. David Vandergulik and got knocked down by Rogers, and he'll sit 2 or less, and the Wolverines, penalty killers, called into action again.
BU 0 for 1 on the power play with just 1 shot. Last night, Michigan Tech held the Huskies. At one point, they were 0 for 3 with only 1 shot. Was Michigan Tech. That's how good Michigan's penalty killing unit is.
Carriers have a little more skill than Michigan Tech in terms of power play deployment. And Miller and Myers right there.
Helps to have those guys along the blue line. Good play by Mike Rominski to swing it out of there with a right paw. Now David Moss to Andy Burns. Burns hammers it up the near wall and into the Terrier zone. Field steers it to Miller. Turned it over. Moss tried to dump it down low. Got it to the corner. Mark Mullen overskated it. Freddie Meyer will quarterback it now. With 1:05 to go in this power play for BU, their second of the hockey game. Brian Miller. LaLiberty. John LaLiberty into the right corner. Nick Martens hit by Mullen from behind. Now Miser to the blue line. Redleys sidesteps his way, swings his shot, redirected wide. Moss, the backhand to clear. Nice job.
Again, no sustained pressure by the Terriers because of the aggressive penalty killing.
Yeah, they can't control the puck even with the extra attacker, can they? Zancanero to Redleys, turned it over. Ortmeyer, shorthanded try. Lost control. Well, he had everybody out of their seats, decked out in maize and blue. Skladany to Cronin, had it blocked. Skladany gets it back to the high point. Cronin quickly to Redleys. Sets up a shot, and Shania goes down to block him. Zancanero holding. Slinging it down low. Skladany, 2 seconds to go. Now Cronin had it blocked again. Redleys to the circle, and Martens will clear. This will be icing. Michigan has killed off yet another opposing power play chance.
Well, it's late in the period. And as Jed Ortmeyer goes in looking for his 5th goal in the last 3 games at Joe Louis Arena. Great read. How about that for guarding the passing lane? Walks in. And the puck, I don't know if it found too much snow there as he went to go deep backhand.
Now Spang off the draw with a blast that goes wide. Ron Geis tried to feed it up ahead, intercepted by Mike Busely. He then gave it back, and then so did Michigan. Here's a drive by Johnson that goes wide off the plexiglass. Tambellini played it up ahead, knocked down. Radoslavich to the right side. Late man coming, Preem, he scores! Ryan Preem's first goal of the year.
Well, a turnover at the blue line. Tambellini can't get it out. His former teammate Vander Gulik centers for Preem, and Preem buries it right along the ice for Ryan Preem. Not only is that his first goal of the season, it's the first goal of this senior's career.
Wow.
In 64 games.
Grab hold of that puck and take it home with you, young man. And it gives BU a 2-1 lead. Brian Collins backhands it into the Michigan right corner. Montoya talking to his alternate captain, Andy Burns, who turned it over. Now Rumensky calmly pitchforks it out of there. Busel hammers it right back into the Michigan zone, but this will be icing. We have 5:12 left to go in the middle frame of the GLI Championship game. Ryan Preem's first career goal gives BU a 2-1 cushion. BU on top, off the draw. Shot that went wide. La Liberty cleared the zone. Geis tried to hold it in there, but the linesman was right there. Milan Geis, an accomplished hockey player, obviously, but also an established lacrosse player, where he won his third Canadian National Championship in lacrosse with the Burnaby Lakers, claimed the Minto Cup, and was drafted actually by the Buffalo Bandits of the National Lacrosse League in the 5th round.
Drafted by 2 professional sports teams, also property of the Atlanta Thrashers.
That is talent, isn't it? See a lot of hockey players who play lacrosse because of the hand-eye coordination, right?
Yep.
Montoya steers it up the near side wall. Geis couldn't clear. Shot from the point by Meyer went wide. Here's Martins playing it up the far side. Dasher. Jason Risner. Center ice, Eric Werner. He'll carry into the zone. Little suck and drag shot. Oh, and Fields with a glove save.
Well, the last time the Terriers scored, the Wolverines answered quickly, and that's what Eric Werner was thinking. Great puck skills, one-on-one, getting around Justin Meiser. Meiser, of course, not a defenseman, he's a forward, and Werner sure made him look like one. He's kind of shooting from a sharp angle, though, and flashing the glove is Ryan Fields.
Hey, that's a defenseman, folks, making that move, too. He's not a forward. Sometimes doesn't play like one, though, does he? A lot of skill for Eric Werner, icing against BU.
Well, when I talked to Brian Miller a couple of days ago, the sophomore defenseman, when he was talking about the goaltender Sean Fields, I said, what kind of a game does he bring? He says he's got a great glove and he loves to flash it. And we just saw Exhibit A right there. Big stop by Fields, and that should keep his Terrier teammates pumped.
Terriers trying to clear it. Mancanero up the near wall. Kenny McGowan with a backhand to find an opening. Brandon Rogers chases it down. Plays it to Danny Richmond. Michigan so young, but so talented. Tied with Michigan State for the youngest team in the CCHA, 5th in the nation. They play it up ahead. Ebbett. Now Mink. Mink in the slot. Had it knocked away and cleared by John Cronin. Cronin's a solid defenseman, isn't he, Fred? Absolutely. Plays the body well.
Contributed offensively yesterday with a career-high goal and 2 helpers.
Watch Skladany, 1-on-2, a lot of skill, and feeds it with a backhand to the near corner for McGowan. Down low for Skladany. This is their number 3 line. Michigan clears, chased down by Dan Spang. Spang now in a hurry. Hand it over in the neutral zone. Jeff Tambellini, the freshman, dumped it into the corner. Ortmeyer tried to center it. Knocked back out. Here's Burns from the blue line with a bullet. Goes wide. Rumensky holds it into the hatch. Now Tambellini looking out front. Played it off the back of the net. Now steers it to Chania. Great move behind the net. Spang all over him. Centering pass. Jeff Tambellini's 10th goal of the season to tie it at 2.
Well, talk about a lightning release. Great work by John Chania. And the quick shot, 5-hole by Jeff Tambellini. Those are quick wrists. Watch Shania from behind the goal, the centering feed. And just to be able to see that puck arrive, Jeff Tambellini, it came through 2 BU defenders. And then to get that much mustard on the shot, Wolverines answer quickly again. 2-2, under 3 to go in the second period.
4th goal in the last 6 games for the freshman from Port Moody, British Columbia, Jeff Tambellini. John Shania with the assist, his 4th in the last 2 games in this tournament. You talk about a leader. John Shania gets it done in this barn and in this tournament. 10 assists now in the GLI in 8 games in his career. Dave Vandergulik into the Michigan zone, drops it back. Sable tried to push it into the corner. Milan Geisch hit it off the side of his own net as we approach the 2-minute mark of the second. They chip it out to center ice. Cronin couldn't glove it down. He'll leave it for Redleys. Jacobs Redleys turned it over in the neutral zone to Eric Warner. Nick Martins reaching out, hammering it up to David Moss. Moss plays it into the BU zone. Jacobs Redleys grab hold of it there, swing it up the near side dasher. Waiting for it, Justin Miser. Thrown off the puck by Brandon Rogers. Now digging away. Here's Cronin, risking a shot. That was blocked by Risner. Good block. Those are the little things that keep you competitive and win you hockey games. Now in the corner. John Liberty and Brandon Rogers, a pair of 5s battling. Puck squirts free to Cronin. Now it's Rogers and Liberty again. Mullen snuck in, picked it clean, ran into Danny Richmond. Can't get free. Here's David Moss. Plays it up ahead. Still couldn't clear. Montoya with an easy save. Under a minute to go. Redleys tries him, and he'll hold on. Richmond giving some of the Terriers like Mark Mullen the business because they were bearing down on their goalie. Defensemen don't like that.
Well, they have to watch it, play with composure. Second intermission, Trenton, Michigan's Brad Zancanero. And where are they now? Well, the former Michigan speedster, Ray Dries, who I've seen behind the youth hockey bench or two during the last couple of years.
Face off to the right of Al Montoya. The aforementioned Zancanero taking the draw for BU. He won it too. Had it poked free and out of the zone. Usually center right back into the corner. Here's Mike Romensky. Plays it up the left wing. Mark Mink dishes it back. John Shania. Shania plays it to Ortmeyer. Taps it into the BU zone. 35 seconds to go in the period. Kenny McGowan plays with a backhand. 2 foul for Zancanero. Skladany threw a shot with a right elbow. Now Shania quickly up the left wing for Mark Mink. Cross ice for Ortmeyer, just a little bit out of his reach. And I see the ball. Ortmeyer really bearing down, and he went hard into the end-board dasher. You want to see him get up because of that knee. You know, I mean, it's a scary situation.
Well, that's just the way he plays. 13 seconds to go, trying to nullify an icing so he doesn't have a face-off deep in his own zone. It was the right call. The puck had crossed the goal line before Jed Ortmeyer touched it, but he plays with reckless abandon.
Ortmeyer missing 7 games with that MCL injury earlier this year. 5 seconds to go. Meyer with a shot. Montoya holds on.
And exactly why Jed Ortmeyer wanted to get that icing waved off, because the puck comes back to the point. Freddie Meyer gets a pretty good shot away after they drop the puck with under 15 seconds to go in the period. Now just 3.7 ticks left.
Love the way Freddie Meyer plays the game. His 18th game, 10 points, 2 goals on the year. 1 second to go. And 40 solid minutes of outstanding Great Lakes Invitational hockey is in the books. Everyone standing in appreciation of what these athletes have brought to the 38th party. This one being played at Joe Louis Arena, a packed house, watching Michigan and Boston University skate to a 2-2 tie after 2. Join us for the intermission when we return, please.
20 minutes of hockey left at the 38th Annual Great Lakes Invitational. Boston University looking for its first ever GLI title. The Michigan Wolverines looking for their 12th. Well, joining us now is Brad Zancanero of the BU Terriers. And Brad, this is not only a holiday tournament for you, but a homecoming as well.
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Trenton, Michigan, so it's great to be here with all my friends and family. My friends haven't been able to see me play in a while, so it's pretty nice.
Whole section out there for you?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not exactly sure how many, but there are quite a few.
Growing up in Michigan, you grew up around Joe Louis Arena watching the Wings. I understand you're a big Wings fan as well.
Yeah, well, my dad has season tickets, and try to go to as many games as I can. When I'm home for the holidays or whatever. But always grew up watching the Wings, and so it's great to play here.
A lot at stake this week in playing in the GLI, but you've played at the Joe before a long time ago.
Yeah, well, I used to play for Little Caesars a while ago, and we used to practice here every Sunday. I don't think I ever played any games, but practice every Sunday, I think.
So what did you tell your teammates about what to expect when they come to play at the Joe?
I just told them a lot of fans, not on our side, so, it's the way it is when you go on the road, so they know how it is.
Is it as loud as you thought it would be against you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I've been to the GLI before watching, so I knew how it would be.
Who were you rooting for when you came to the GLI way back when?
Oh, I wasn't rooting for anybody. I was just watching. Someday maybe play against those guys. So.
Well, Brad, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Brad Zancanero of Boston University as he tries to make his homecoming extra special with the GLI title.
Michigan and Boston University needing the final 20 minutes to decide this one. We're tied at 2 after 2.
And they traded goals in the second, just like in the first. Ryan Preem, his first career goal, a senior in his 64th career game. Wolverines answered a pretty feed out front. Shania to Tambellini, and the freshman answers, burying his 10th of the season. Shots on goal. Wolverines by 10. They've also had more scoring chances. They've kept the Terriers' power play at 0 for 4. The hits pretty even, and it has been a physical affair from the get-go.
And all even strength goals so far for both teams. Neither team able to draw any blood on the power play. Mike Rominski plays it up the far dasher, now gets it right back in his own zone. Up the left side, poked into the BU zone by Jed Ortmeyer. Ryan Miller, rink-wide pass. Terriers trying to generate something. Glove down by Ortmeyer. Thrown up ahead. Now it's center ice. Tambellini laid it up ahead. Knocked down by Freddie Meyer. Here's John Shania. Up ahead for Ortmeyer. Stick handling. Had it poked away by Brian Miller. Michigan on a line change. BU will do the same. Nick Martens paired up with Eric Warner on defense. Hopping puck finds its way onto Warner's forehand. He'll dump it in, and this will be icing.
Well, watch for both coaches to keep the shifts extremely short. You're in a situation where you're coming back and playing 2 games in consecutive days after being off. Mike Rominski with an assist added on that last goal by Tambellini at the 17-minute mark. He's the one who dished down low to John Shania. And Rominski's fine senior season continues.
Playing in his 113th career game. Jason Risner gaining some momentum at center ice. Into the BU zone. Taps it off the board. Jacobs Redleys hit by Moss, but delivered it up the far side. John Cronin trying to catch up to it. Moss swings it right back down low. Sean Field steers it up the far side wall, holding it in. Warner. Shot blocked. Score! David Moss!
Following the same script as last night, coming from behind. Turnover at the point. The shot by Warner does not get through, but it's right onto Moss's stick. And he unloads a BB right under the crossbar. There's the block. And then David Moss buries it. And just a minute 24 into period number 3. Wolverines lead for the first time tonight.
His 5th goal of the year. Could it be his 2nd game winner? We do know this. He has now matched last year's total with 13 points. Now Zancanero played it in front, steered to the corner. Mark Mink off the back of the net. Danny Richmond turned it over. Zancanero with a backhand, and that was blocked and tapped wide. Michigan clears. Spang sends it back in. Andrew Ebbett up the right wing. Mark Mink taps it into the BU zone. A little tug from behind by Skladany. Puck is under Andrew Ebbett. They're trying to dig it free. J.J. Swistak is in that mess, and here comes Freddie Meyer. 3-on-3. Meyer will swing it in. Montoya way out of the cage. Back up the near wall. Popped up into the air. Settled down there. Mink can't clear it. And now Swistak does. Swistak. Puts it back in. Meyer blocked it. Popped it up to the neutral zone. Kamensky back in. Field steadies it there for Brian Miller. Miller got things started for BU way back in the first. A turnover. Wolverines looking to cash in. Sliding. And here comes Meyer. 2-on-2. Late man. Busting toward the front of that. Meyer centering pass. And the net behind Al Montoya knocked off its moorings.
Now some good end-to-end action now. Even though the teams came out and tried to tighten things up in the early going. There's one of the goal scorers for the Terriers. Ryan Preem was inserted into the lineup for last night's game because the coach liked his physical play. And here's the guy who tied it up, is David Moss.
David Moss spent the summer bulking up, making his stride stronger, longer, a little bit more efficient. Took a lot of power skating courses in the offseason. Paid off for him in this game.
Also playing a new position, center instead of wing, that he played last year.
Red Berenson said he just looks like a centerman to me, so we put him there. Tambellini played it up ahead. Werner dumped it into the corner. Redleys will steer it up the far side dash to Ortmeyer. Forced the cough up. Sent it back down low. Shania blocked that one. And now John Cronin will grab hold of it behind his own cage. Peel back and come out on the near side. Tugged at from behind by Jeff Tambellini. John Sabo with a backhand feed and an offsides call against Brian Collins, who clinches his right shoulder a little bit.
Collins trying to shake off the effects of the hit he took on the offside play. And third period, second game in as many nights, coming off the holiday break, and it's gut check time here. Everybody's got to suck it up a little, dig a little bit deeper with GLI pride on the line.
Spang had it deep in the BU zone, played it up the far side wall, kicked at. Back down into the corner for Spang. Busely. They're the defenseman for BU. Dan Spang will lift it in just to the right of Montoya for an icing call. 15:46 remaining in the third. Red Berenson 10 and Michigan 10-7 all time against Boston University. Red Berenson seeking his first GLI title since 1996.
He was behind the bench for that run of 9 straight, and he said, you know, it was just, we weren't losing a lot of players at that time to the World Junior Championships. He said Brendan Morrison was there for all 4.
Which is hard to believe now.
Yeah, look at where he is now. The guy they lost for 3 is Jason Botterill. But Morrison now the NHL star.
Morrison a 3-time MVP of this event. Now with the Vancouver Canucks. And instrumental in Danny Richmond coming here to Michigan because of Richmond's father's ties to the Vancouver organization we talked about earlier. There's a near turnover, and Montoya quickly covers up. They thought he had it covered up and was the beneficiary of a quick whistle.
Pace kind of slowed a little bit, and that's to Al Montoya's liking. Sometimes a coach will instruct his netminder to hold on to everything and get as many whistles as possible, especially if you're shortening your bench and trying to get some key players out a little more often than you would when you're rolling 4 lines or playing 6D.
Zancanero rolls it to Meyer, whose shot snuck its way in on Montoya. He quickly covered up again.
Boy, looking at Al Montoya, you would never know he is 17 years old.
Isn't that amazing?
He's played with such poise. Youngest player in all of college hockey. His oldest teammate is Jed Ortmeyer.
Atari's way out of date for Al Montoya. Never saw the hit show Facts of Life. We saw Gordie Howe play. Or Rod Carew or Terry Bradshaw play either. Those are some big names in big time sports. And of course, Al Montoya at age 17 graduated, or born I should say, what, 5 years after you graduated from college. I'm not dating you there, partner. I'm just trying to give people a perspective on how young this chap is and well, how good looking you are for how old you are. Zancanero shot it high over the cage. Zancanero got it back along the end boards, feeds it in front, and a penalty coming.
Yeah, the coverage a little too close as Mark Mink did not have good positioning. When you're covering a player, you want to be between that player and the net. Mink was forced to play from behind on his check. Mark Mink has the puck coughed up, and he's got to come from behind on Skladany. And that's one guy you want to make sure is wrapped up, František Skladany, although right now it's a 2-minute power play and the Terriers play come from behind.
Barely seems like a power play against Michigan. We've already been boastful about their penalty kill, #1 in the nation. BU 0 for 2 with 1 shot so far tonight. Cronin plays it down into the corner. Vander Gulik reverses his field, brings it to the near point for John Cronin, slides it, Redleys, far side circle, Sabo back to Redleys, one timing, shot, score! We're tied at 3. Dave Vander Gulik scores just the 8th power play goal against Michigan this year, and we're deadlocked at 3 apiece.
Well, it works from the point. The shot gets through. Vander Gulik in perfect position. There were 2 red shirts in behind the Wolverines' defense. Between that defense and Al Montoya, Brandon Rogers ties up 1 man, but Vander Gulik is there to bury.
Vander Gulik's first power play goal of the season. He's 4th tally overall. BU drawing some blood on the special teams. 13:40 left to go in the 3rd.
And back in Chilliwack, BC, former Michigan State Spartan Stan Schmeel's loving this. Tambellini with a goal, and another ex-Chief and Tambellini's teammate last season, Vander Gulik, ties it right back up.
Rogers hacks it out of his zone. Mark Mullen tried to go rink wide, knocked down. Here's David Moss already with 1 tally. Takes a look, tried to feed it in front. Great defensive play by Brian Miller, and the net behind Sean Fields is off its pegs. 13-13 left to go in the 3rd. Moss celebrated the go-ahead goal before Vander Gulik tied it back up at 3. Don't forget tonight, the Detroit Sports Report recaps a huge day in sports, including these headlines. The Lions' frustrating season is finally over. 8 in a row. The future of Matt Millen and Marty Morningwood. Where does it stand? And our poll question tonight, what will Mr. Ford do tomorrow? A full hour of the Detroit Sports Report tonight at 10 following ACC Sunday Night Hoops here on Fox Sports Net. Off the draw, into the corner for Michigan. Held in nicely at the point. Sent back down low by David Wisgowski. J.J. Swistak had it stolen. Now up the dasher. Greg Johnson couldn't clear it. Michigan forces it back in. Swistak Wheels and fires on the short side. Warner set it in front of the net. Henderson on the doorstep. Couldn't get his stick down. Ryan Preem, red jerseys entering that Michigan zone. Now they'll peel back in an offsides call against the Terriers.
Fourth lines matched up. Greg Johnson's line against the Charlie Henderson combination, and the Wolverines had them hemmed in, and Henderson almost had a pretty glorious chance. Just got corkscrewed around and couldn't get his stick on the puck. Charlie Henderson, the walk-on last season, who had such a great finish, played in 23 of the last 26 Michigan games and produced some big goals and points.
An all-state baseball player in East Lansing. Montoya steers it to the far side for Burns. Michigan, there they come, breaking out. Mink into the BU zone. Swings a shot. That was blocked. Gets it right back. Bodied up by Jacobs Redleys. Cronin battling along the corner wall as well. Cronin fanned on the clearing try. Kenny McGowan is helping him out. He'll bring it out. Gain the center ice line. Dancing into the Michigan zone. Dropping it back. And Spladany's shot was partially blocked. Andrew Ebbett had it poked free off his stick. Back down low into the Michigan zone. Here's Andy Burns. Quickly up ahead for Ebbett. The freshman goes kitty corner into the BU zone. And now the Terriers try and break out. Collins had his pocket pick. Nice play by Shania. Shania's got a man in front. Spinning back at the near side. Hash mark to Ortmeyer. Flipped it just wide of the net. Tambellini. With Rogers holding in at the point. Slings a shot, and that hits somebody in front, and a penalty coming to BU. Looks like Dave Busely, or Mike Busely rather, will go to the penalty box. Shireen Saski.
Thanks, Matt. Well, I'm here with Sandy Busely, who is the wife of Mike Busely. And Sandy, I know you're excited to see your husband play. Are you happy, though, that he's back in the penalty box?
I don't know. He gets wants to get his mug on TV, too, I guess.
She told me that that's what the family always jokes with him about. Now, I know this trip to Joe Louis Arena is especially special for you. Why is that?
Oh, I've been a Red Wings fan forever, and this is just amazing. It's been a spectacular dream come true, just seeing my husband play on the Joe Louis Arena. It's great.
All right, Sandy, thanks. Hopefully you'll get a winning goal tonight.
That could be the game-winning goal right there. Who knows? Mark Mullen. A short-handed tally for BU. Their fifth of the season, the fourth surrendered by U of M, and the Terriers are back on top by a goal.
Well, Mullen seemed rather composed after that huge goal. Left shot down the right side, moves to the goal, and he didn't put it in. I think the second Michigan player arriving on the scene knocked it in. He makes the move on Werner, and watch the second Michigan player. Does it go off him? Andrew Ebbett? I think it does. Goes off Andrew Ebbett, and Mullen, just knowing that good things happen when you drive to the goal. And he didn't get the shot away, but Andrew Ebbett inadvertently knocked it in, and the Wolverines have to play from behind again.
They give it to Mark Mullen, his sixth of the season and second shorthanded tally of the year. From John Sabo, who has 2 assists tonight. Couldn't clear the zone. Shania waits for it. He's hit from behind. Tambellini to the point. Danny Richmond walks in. Sends it down low. Shania. Saucer pass back to Richmond. Now to Shania. Switches sides with him. Now Ortmeyer rather. Plays it back into the corner for Shania. Along the end boards. Freddie Meyer clears.
Well, the Wolverines have their top line out. John Shania is the catalyst. He'll try to work the puck to him in the corner, and he'll skate out of the corner and look for his options.
Tambellini into the zone, going wide into the corner, centering pass. This is Shania to Ortmeyer. Oh, the referee got in the way for a moment. Richmond held it in nicely at the point. Tried to send it down low. Redleys will clear. Jack Parker said his special teams were a concern. In this two-day tournament so far, they've been pretty good so far, I think.
Yeah, it could be a momentum returning series in GLI for the special teams of the Terriers.
Remind you a little bit of last year when North Dakota was complaining about the same problem. Dan Canero nearly picked the pocket of Andrew Ebbett and did. Now slices in with a backhand and had his pocket picked by Brandon Rogers. 3 seconds to go. BU back at full strength. They lead at 4-3. David Moss off the dasher and into the BU zone. Helped out by Andrew Ebbett. Kalanicky trying to use the body. Pick three by Brian Miller up the left wing. Justin Miser up ahead. Skladany generating speed, trying to go around Warner. Can't do it. Warner wipes out. That shot hit the side of the net. Now they jam away at it, loose in front. Back to the corner. Bodies flying everywhere. Scooped up by Collins. Brian Collins bumped off the puck. Warner off the dasher, held in by Busely. Shot was blocked, and now it's Kalanicky sending it on Fields. Not much of a test there. Skladany up ahead. Here's Collins gaining the center ice line and dumping it in. BU with a short shift there. Turns up the right side. Remensky helps it out of the zone. Here's Risner trying to poke it up ahead. Redleys jamming him up a little bit. Now a 2-on-1 down low. Redleys, nice recovery. Mark Mink played it to the point. Burns right back down low. Approaching the 8-minute mark. Michigan trails by a goal. That one thrown in toward Fields. Lays out to clear it. Up the near wall. Dan Spang jamming away at it. Michigan coming in. Puck squirts free, and it's helped out of the zone nicely by Ryan Green. Another big collision at center ice. Two line changes. Risner taps it up ahead. Geisch avoids a hit. Gives it to Ortmeyer. Jed Ortmeyer swings it in on Fields, offsides against U of M. We've got 7 minutes and 36 seconds left of regulation. Don't go away. Boston University just scored back-to-back goals to lead by 1. Youth hockey teams have the chance to play right here at Joe Louis Arena in the second annual CCHA Kids College Classic. Championship games from several divisions will be played at the Joe this March in conjunction with the Super 6 weekend. Get information on the CCHA Kids College Classic by calling 248-888-0600. Mark Mullen already with a goal, slides it toward the front of the net. LaLiberty, John LaLiberty. Forced the turnover at center ice to the near side for John Cronin, who helps it into the zone. Montoya tries to steady it for Rogers. Lays it back for his defensive partner, Danny Richmond. Richmond helps it up the near wall and turned it over. LaLiberty with a wrist shot. That was blocked. Loose in front. They jam away, score! Justin Miser's 7th goal of the season. Each one has come in a Boston University win.
Well, he's got a knack for scoring big tournament goals. He was the Beanpot MVP last season. Puck comes right back to him after it volleyballs around the crease. LaLiberty, the shot, comes right back to Miser off Mullen, and he makes no mistake, and it's a 2-goal lead, biggest of the night for either team.
How about that? 7 goals on the year. Every one of them have come in a Terriers win. 7, 5, and 12 is his line in their 10 victories.
Take it to the bank. And if you're Red Barrington and the Michigan Wolverines, you're a little concerned about your third period play now. This is the third time in the last 4 games that the Wolverines have allowed 2 or more goals in the third period. And they've also been outscored 20-17 in the third period, 21-17 in the third period this season. That's the only period that they've lost collectively.
They only have 2 shots on net so far in this third period. Risner along the inboards, looking to make something happen. Shadowed by Brian Miller. Miller rather slight, but a good defenseman. Now from the seat of his pants! And Fields covered up quickly, and a penalty coming.
Looked like a gimme for Milan Geisch. Steve Piotrowski heads to the box. Some good work by Risner, who's been effective this game. And with no stick, Sean Fields was able to get, I think, the blocker glove. Was able to corral the puck, but Milan Geis was right there. One of the Wolverines got tackled, so heading into the penalty box is Brad Zancanero.
His 9th penalty of the season. He's gone for 2 minutes. Michigan will operate on the power play. Boston University showing just how important it is to win a draw. They clear the zone.
Well, this could be the defining moment of this game.
Yep.
Wolverines score. They're in for a hectic finish.
With them 0 for 5. There's some pretty good traffic in front of Sean Fields. Rogers can't hold it in.
And I go back to the 5-on-3 that the Wolverines did not connect on. You don't win games oftentimes when you fail to score on those chances.
Shania tried to feed it in front, knocked away. Fuseli hammers it up the wall, held in by Shania. To the high point, Richmond slings a shot, missed on the short side. Ortmeyer down low. Now Shania back to Ortmeyer from the circle to the point for Richmond. This is Shania. Touch pass from Ortmeyer. Ortmeyer in front. Rogers had to slide it to the backhand. Good stick work though. Tambellini in the corner. Tambellini's got a goal tonight. Shania in the corner. Stick handling, holding, looking for someone to pop open. Could be Ortmeyer. Swept aside to the near wall. Richmond to the high slot. Gets it right back. Swings it toward the net. Fields with a save and a cover-up.
Well, Danny Richmond very poised for a freshman playing the power play. And he will run this power play for the Wolverines for 3 more seasons to come.
They hope.
But having said that, the Wolverines still miss big Mike Commissara, who I thought had a wrist shot that was about as powerful as most players' slap shots.
Martins at the near point, down low for Mink. On the inboards, Andrew Ebbett slides it back, and Martins did hold it in. Good play. And then Freddie Meyer clears the zone. Here's Eric Warner to Martins. Martins, 1 goal, 5 points on the season. Ebbett, the freshman, battling in the left corner. 4:37 to go in the third. 8 seconds to go in the Michigan power play. As Fred mentioned, could be the defining factor here. Vander Gulick jams away at it. Zancanero is out of the box, and Michigan fails on another power play. Kalinecki plays it to Mink. Mink jammed up by Zancanero. Now Ebbett. He's taken into the corner by Brian Miller. Dave Vander Gulick chasing it down and slides it up ahead into the Michigan zone. They're going to wave off the icing. Under 4 minutes to go in the GLI 38th Annual Championship Showdown. Brandon Kalinecki plays it up ahead for David Moss. Both have a goal in this game. Moss slides it in front. Bodies flying all over the place. Kenny McGowan chasing it down in the corner along with Dan Spang. Michigan comes away with it. They jam away. Now it's loose again, and here come the Terriers. Spang in a hurry up the right wing. And he will tap it with a backhand into the right corner. Al Montoya pressured. Spladani stole it from the Michigan goalie. Now McGowan. Kenny McGowan trying to make a move. Can't get rid of Moss. Slides it now to Mullen. Michigan able to clear the zone. 3:15 to go. Risner into the BU zone. Played it with a backhand. Here's a try by Geis. Fields quickly covers up as soon as he can. Milan Geis very frustrated. Vander Gulick put him up by 1, and then BU tacked on another one. They lead 5-3 with 3:05 to go. 3:05 left to go in regulation. In the GLI Championship, BU 5, U of M 3. The Terriers trying to become the 7th team from out of the state of Michigan to win that championship trophy right there.
And 2 banners left.
There's one. Tambellini. Oh, he broke his stick. Otherwise, he was point blank. Radoslavich in the corner, battling with Richmond. It'll probably be a while, but we'll keep our eye on Al Montoya. Here's John Shania. To Ortmeyer, turned it over. Radoslavich sent it back down deep. BU not looking to score, looking to keep it in the Michigan zone. Cronin wrists it off the dasher. Good job by Richmond. Terriers with control of the puck. 2:20 to go. First time they have been playing in this GLI Championship game. Before this year's tournament, they had gone 4-4. Vander Gulick, Sabo with a wrist shot. Shoulder save made by Montoya to keep it a 2-goal game.
Sabo's collected a couple of assists in this game and capitalizes on the turnover at the Michigan blue line and takes the Vander Gulick drop, and Sabo right in the right shoulder of Al Montoya, looking to go under the crossbar where it meets the post.
You know, it's out of their 4 wins in GLI. Zancanero right there in the slot, couldn't pull the trigger. 2 have come against the University of Michigan in 72 and 78, although 1 was later forfeited. Montoya is gone. 6-on-5 now for U of M with under 2 minutes to go in the third. Risner in the corner. Spang trying to use the body against him. Risner's so big and strong, though, from the blue line. Geis with a drive. Fields got it. Risner brings the Wolverines to within 1.
Well, Jason Risner, who has gone to the high traffic areas tonight, coming off a shoulder problem. Thought he was playing a little tentative, but he has attacked the puck tonight. The shot gets through by Geis, and Risner, Johnny on the spot. Fields was way out of the net. He's a couple of feet past the top of his crease and diving over, but Risner's made it an exciting finish with 90 seconds to go.
His first goal of the season, 10th of his U of M career. Jason Risner brings Michigan to within 1. Montoya back between the pipes with 1:20 to go now in the third. Miller sends it back in. Montoya, who is halfway out of the cage, grabs hold of that. Shania, and they help it in. Now Montoya quickly to the U of M bench. Wolverines quickly on the forecheck. Shania at the side of the net. Brian Miller with Tambellini all over him. Miser couldn't scoop it out of there. Under a minute to go in the championship game. BU able to clear the zone. Tambellini catches his breath and picks up the puck. Plays it up the right side, and Meyer tapped it out of the rink and up into the crowd.
Well, this is the time of game where you get an idea of who the coaches rely on at crunch time. Red Berenson will call a timeout, get his troops rested and strategized. Well, it's been another Great Lakes Invitational in the past 2 days. Nearly 36,000 fans have passed through the turnstiles of Joe Louis Arena to watch some outstanding college hockey. Michigan Wolverines need to get a goal to keep the quest for title number 12 alive. Spartans won a couple before North Dakota knocked them off last year. And the Boston University Terriers, they've been to this dance 5 previous times and have not reached the championship game until this current event. And the Terriers also looking for their second tournament title of the season. They won the icebreaker back in October. They knocked off Northern Michigan in a shootout and then beat Rensselaer. Polytech 5-1 in the championship game of that tournament, hosted by Mike Eaves from the University of Wisconsin.
Jack Parker and Boston U 5-7 all-time in Detroit. They are 1-2 in the NCAA tournament here. Tambellini dumps it into the corner. Michigan quickly hustling in after it. Cronin plays it with a backhand. Rogers fell down. Gets back up. Cronin calmly sends it along the end boards. Up the near side. Dasher and out of the zone. Werner hustling. Sabo shadowing him. Now Tambolini slings it up the near side wall for Chania. Back to Jeff Tambolini. Has a goal. 17 seconds to go. 5-4 BU. Tambolini into the zone. Here's Chania. Going wide and around the cage. Ortmeyer goes to the front of the net. John Chania shoots. Save made by Fields with the glove. 4.2 seconds left. Wow.
John Chania, known more as a playmaker, but what great work by Tambolini. First of all, to get the puck across the line, and then this move on Freddie Meyer. How about that? Chania takes it behind the net. Usually he's looking to pass, but he turns and shoots and into the waiting glove of Fields and Nesses.
Good thing Fields grabbed hold of that too, because there were 3 white shirts in front. 36 saves tonight for Sean Fields. And BU now calls a timeout. Jack Parker wants to talk things over with his troops, knowing just 4.2 seconds left. And boy, is it important to win the draw here.
Let's watch Jack diagram it. The 4 X's are the Wolverines, or the 6 X's. He wants to stack that middle.
He's showing 18,000 strong here. The tactics in which he is deploying his troops, everybody knows what's going to happen with 4.2 seconds left.
But the Wolverines aren't looking.
Shot. No, they're too intent on listening to what Red Berenson has to say.
Well, with 4.2 seconds, you don't have to go right to the goal. There is time to pull it back. And with a quick transfer, if you can pull it back to the left point, transfer to mid-ice, you're in a pretty good shooting lane. Meantime, a couple of people have charged for the goal. So face-off possession is crucial here with 4.2 seconds left, and Boston University clinging to a 5-4 lead.
And it will be Brad Zancanaro against John Chania. A couple of Michiganders, and Zancanaro wins the draw. Shot right there in front, and that'll do it. Michigan got that shot you were talking about, Fred. They got it off, but Fields got a piece of it, and Boston University celebrates a championship at Joe Louis Arena in the form of the Great Lakes Invitational.
Well, what confidence Coach Jack Parker shows in the Trenton, Michigan freshman for Boston University, Brad Zancanaro, to have him out for that crucial draw against John Chania, the Michigan senior. Zancanaro won it cleanly, but it was just some good hustle by the Wolverines to get to the corner and fire it out front. So for the first time since 1986 and 1987, the invited teams have captured back-to-back Great Lakes Invitational titles.
Last year it was North Dakota. This year it is a team from Hockey East. Sean Fields and the Terriers, 5-4 victors. Boston University gives Jack Parker his 39th tournament championship. As Al Sabatka brings out the GLI Championship trophy, it will go in the trophy case at Boston University for the first time ever. It was worth the trip for these young guys, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, as BU Red will hang from the rafters of Joe Louis Arena. Not the maize and blue that the Wolverines were hoping for. Jack Parker congratulating each of his players for what becomes his 39th championship. That includes Hockey East playoff championships, NCAA titles, 16 bean pots, the icebreaker that we talked about earlier, but this is bean pot number 1.
One of the classiest efforts in sports, the handshake at the end of the contest. Warriors on each side. And in the end, all hockey players and deserving of congratulatory handshakes. Here's the all-tournament team.
The goalie Fields for Boston University, very, very cool under pressure. Coach Parker said he's been our MVP. John Cronin, who had a career game yesterday with a goal and 2 assists. John Michael Lyles, the quarterback of the Michigan State power play. Jed Ortmeyer with the 4-point effort last night. Chris Connor, the exciting and flashy rookie for the Michigan Tech Huskies, and Matt Mullen, who scores what proves to be the winning goal, or rather a huge short-handed goal. Justin Miser's goal actually proves to be the winner, with Risner coming back late.
Glad to see Chris Connor on that list, because even though Michigan Tech went winless in 2 games during this tournament, he was by far and away their best forward and kept him in it. No question about that.
Yeah, he had an outstanding tournament. Seemed that he made something exciting happen every time he touched the puck. And Chris Connor will have to be a contender for WCHA all rookie team honors, you would think.
John Cronin receiving his all-tournament trophy, the senior from Duxbury, Mass. Jed Ortmeyer will make his way to receive his now, even though he did not accomplish the goal he set out for.
Not the finish he had the last time he was on this ice for a championship game, the CCHA Super 6, when he scored 2 goals, including the game winner in a 3-2 victory over Michigan State. Posing for pictures with Rick Yo, the athletic director from Michigan Tech, co-host of this tournament.
And Mr. Ted Spears, who works for Olympia Sports and Entertainment and helps us out, doing a great job setting up things for our crew.
Mark Mullen.
And now Dan York, the PA announcer.
From BU, Sean Fields.
Fields.
And next, Rick Yo will present the Jack Tompkins Trophy to the tournament's most valuable player from Boston University, Sean Fields.
Surprised they just didn't keep him up there. They made him skate back to the blue line for no reason. Sean Fields picking up the MVP, and it's well earned.
Time and time again, your goaltender is your best penalty killer. And tonight, the Michigan Wolverines go 0 for 6 on the power play. One of the reasons that Sean Fields is the all GLI goalie and tournament MVP.
Jed Ortmeyer will claim the runners-up trophy for the University of Michigan. Ortmeyer, such a competitor, obviously not satisfied with that, but later on he'll look back and see it maybe as a satisfying moment in his collegiate career.
And now it's time for a Great Lakes Invitational tradition. This year, GLI champion Boston University will attach their school name and colors to the Great Lakes Invitational banner, and this banner will hang in the Joe Louis Arena rafters for 365 days until the next champion is crowned.
Freddie Meyer, no doubt to do the honors, the captain of this Terrier hockey club. He will take his alternate captains, Brian Collins and John Sabo, to the other end of the rink. And if nothing else, Fred Pletch, the red and white goes well here at Joe Louis Arena, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Another red and white banner to hang from the rafters to match all the Stanley Cup tributes.
So Boston University's first trip to the GLI Championship game is a successful one. They beat the University of Michigan 5-4 in a number of ways, even strength, power play, and shorthanded as well.